οι ομάδες.
Πώς νιώθεις που έχουμε εδώ τα παιδιά?
Σίγουρα πολύ ωραία. Είναι πολύ όμορφο να βλέπουμε κόσμο.
Τον Βίκτορ Λαντζελότη, τον Μάριο Άντων Άγκολο και πάμε να υποδεχθούμε Team Cyprus. The national team of Cyprus. Οι Κύπροι λοιπόν αθλητές. Ο Ανδρέας και ο Χριστόβουλος τώρα νικητής του αγώνα. Ο Γιούρι Λέιταο, τον οποίο θα δείτε να φοράει διαφορετική φανέλα από τους υπόλοιπους συναθλητές του, φοράει την Γιούρι Λέιταο. Μπεκό Αμπριόλα, Ρούμετς Μπάλτερστον.
Gracias. Litzi, hast du vielleicht noch irgendwo Handschuhe bei der Hand? Ja.
Το χειροκρότημα το δημοτικό σχολείο, δημοτικό παραλία. Είχαμε να δούμε την εκδήλωση. Παιδιά, πού είναι η κόκκινη? Τα ηχεία δεν είναι. Το έχει εδώ.
Bravo mee. Volgende. Laatste. wel of next to each other of not of the
on live. Ja. Beetje naar links dan. Beetje naar rechts. Beetje naar rechts kan dat, of zie je het? Ja, mooi. Dat zie ik zo. Ja, nu wordt het naar weggeschakeld. Beetje naar links, beetje naar links.
Good afternoon, you're very welcome to stage 2, or day 2, it's stage 2, yes, it's the third helping of race action, all very confusing, all very exciting, all very exhilarating as we're making our way over 169 kilometers in total to Karditsa today. We're changing location, leaving Macedonia behind, entering the region of Thessaly in Greece, in central Greece, heading inland. And some serious climbs for the riders to negotiate today, albeit at this moment, as we look at the live pictures out on the road, the riders have been over the worst and the most demanding of the climbing challenges they'll face on today's much longer stage. Yesterday, of course, we had a double helping of action with the morning 6-kilometer prologue, 1 in 5. The overall lead of the race, he extended his advantage, just missed out on making a double on the day as he was pipped to the post in stage 1B into Karditsa yesterday by the stunning sprint performance of Jakub Mareczko. That was yesterday. Mareczko has already announced himself as a sprinter in form, and Yuri Leotau sprinting and time trialing to glory. He'll hang on to the race lead into today as we pick up the first side of the breakaway group. 5 riders clear of the field and heading towards the conclusion of the day, some distance away at this point. But 5 riders. We did have an initial group of 6 riders. Well, I'll tell you what, it was actually 5 broke clear of the field, and then late to the party, Filippo Tagliani, he's on the front of the breakaway group at the moment, the Vinny Monzon Savini Due rider in the white. Ronan O'Connor's clipping off here, fancies a little bit of intermediate sprint glory. 20-year-old Irish rider spotting an opportunity and going for an early one here. Ronan O'Connor was second at the sprint at Ellisona about 40 kilometers ago, and indeed this breakaway group were almost towed back when Tagliani made his way up and into it. It made it 6 riders. Anton Schiefer was there, the bike aid rider from Germany, and Anton Schiefer, subsequent to the second climb of the day, which he managed to scoop the maximum points in, is back in the main peloton. Not entirely sure what the reasoning for that was, but an interesting decision here by the youngest rider in the breakaway. Another 4 riders watching with concern and interest. At the back here is Samuele Zoccarato, who'll be known to plenty of fans of European road racing, the VF Group Bardiani CSF Faisane rider from Italy, is in here and watching with concern, with interest. Well, we'll see. Tagliani is going to lead out the pursuit and the scrap for second place points here. Pernsteiner spotting an opportunity to score some points. So, despite what that said, that wasn't a King of the Mountain sprint, but very much an intermediate sprint classification. It's good by Ronan O'Connor, former Irish junior road race champion from Dublin. Spent a couple of years racing in Italy with the Colpack Balan squad and has now transferred across to Global 6 United. Tagliani gets up ahead of Pernsteiner to take the second helping of points. And following that little excitement, O'Connor wasn't able. It was a full-blooded assault for the first sprint of the day, and Tagliani took that one. So O'Connor had to find another way. Just clipped off. A nice helping of points, and that's shaved a total of 5 seconds from his deficit. Not that he's really a contender. He's 86th overall, 53 seconds back. So he's now 49 seconds back on general classification. For what that's worth. And the main peloton in pursuit of our riders. Inside 60 to go for the brisk day. A lot of riders wearing rain gear, as you can see. The day began in absolutely torrential conditions. And the weather conditions really super demanding for the riders. So everybody had on their rain jackets. They've still got quite a bit of that. The temperature at the finish line, where we're heading in Karditsa, is about 15 degrees centigrade. Feels a little bit cooler than that. Wind is not a major factor today. That looks like we're down to 4 up front, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Was 6, now 5, or is it 4? And the advantage of these riders, last time we heard, was about 42 seconds. At one stage, it looked close to being caught just before we came on air. And the gap's still showing at around about 46 seconds. I think Pernsteiner might have dropped out of that. Seen perhaps the futility of this one. Herman Pernsteiner, I have to say, I was slightly surprised to see him go in it. He was best placed rider on general classification of those riders in the breakaway. The most experienced rider as well, 33-year-old Austrian rider. Chabok here. Nishovci Sergej Polski rider, 23-year-old Pole, 43 seconds down. Ronan O'Connor riding well, former junior Irish champion, former Colpack rider, also began his cycling odyssey with the Orwell Wheelers club in Dublin, which happens to be my club. I suppose I should declare an interest there. Riding well on the international stage. Filippo Tagliani raced across into the group. Vinny Monzon, 28-year-old Italian, Romanian registered team, but as we said yesterday, it is very much Italian in characteristic. And the other Italian in this group, Samuele Zoccarato, potentially the best known of the riders. Well, now that Pernsteiner appears to have dropped out of it. Beck that got the maximum amount of bonus seconds that he could manage to get, which wasn't a lot, won, and just thought, you know, we're down to 40-something seconds. This is an exercise potentially in futility. And they've hit it. Park Hotel Valkenburg see an opportunity here. Well, if the Dutch go to the front, you can suspect there's a decent chance of some crosswind action. So look at this, the gap showing in a minute. This is not about chasing. This is not about chasing the breakaway, although that's an inevitable conclusion of what's happening here at the moment. But riders frantically, David Jumane down towards the back there and flirting with the back door. But the park, there you go. The wind is blowing and the Greek flags flying tell us a story that it's a tail crosswind, and that it would strike fear into the heart of many a mountain climber. It's a flat road from here to the conclusion, pretty much. Very few little lumps and bumps. All of the climbing to this point, which included Category 1 and Category 2 ascents. The first climb of the day was almost from the start of the day, 20 kilometres long, at just under 4%. The last 2 kilometres at around about 7%. Jumane is looking a bit anxious here as well. He might. David Jumane, the Eritrean rider that we saw in the attack yet from the German bike aid squad, and he's out the back. And he is probably not the only rider who's suffered this fate. Rain jacket on, flapping in the breeze, not too aero at the moment, but there's no time to take it off. because they are going to pile on the coal here and make this as challenging as possible. The X-Speed United squad, well, that's a very strong and powerful display there. It looks like they've pulled the pin on that one, so the Park Hotel Valkenburg squad didn't immediately split it. They caused all sorts of problems for riders at the back, but didn't force a big enough split, so just thought, well, is this worth bothering with? But others with a different view. Well, the thing is, if you're going to split the field, you really do need the cooperation of others, and the green-clad Park Hotel Valkenburg riders going to the front as they did en masse will have caused all sorts of consternation and worry and fear and anxiety amongst other riders in the peloton. But one rider attacking off the front is altogether of less concern. And so they'll just see that one rider. And having said that, it has, of course, had a negative impact on the advantage of these riders up front. So it was, I can tell you, around about the 2-minute mark. Then it came back to, well, less than 20 seconds just before we began our commentary today. And then the gap went back out to 45 seconds or so, around about the time that Ronan O'Connor took that intermediate sprint. And now it's, again, every chance that these breakaway riders are going to be hauled back fully 54 kilometres from the line. So they need to keep riding here, and they need that the main peloton shut the taps somewhat. Well, that one rider from the X-Speed squad has managed to make it in, and this looks like an investment here from the Polish rider Czabok to try and force the other riders in the breakaway to continue to ride, because they're about to be hauled back, and it's all or nothing at the moment. They need to do something to inject a little bit of energy into that breakaway, force a split, see who's going to come with him. Ronan O'Connor wants to try and maintain a position at the front of the race, so he's leading the charge behind Czabok. But the slight anxiety for this breakaway group is that main peloton looks as if they're still continuing to keep the pressure on, and I wonder just where exactly David Jemane is right now, because he wasn't going to get back on too easily the way things were going just a few moments ago. So Czabok, Konrad Czabok, starting the day 43 seconds down. 23-year-old Polish rider. Clear, dangling clear of a breakaway, which looks ominous for them. Looks as if the catch is imminent. I'm still waiting for a breakthrough international success. Rider in his first year at continental level, and O'Connor's managed to detach himself from the rest, so they seem almost inevitably about to be caught. Still, you've got the Park Hotel Valkenburgs on the front, and they still want to see if there's the potential in that wind to force a split. Why? Tailwind, tail crosswind. Tailwind is tough enough. Tail crosswind means that you're getting it from two different sides. You're not getting the benefit of the same benefit from riding in the shelter of other riders. So it's the strong engines, the big motors can assert their authority. And O'Connor has been usurped by Zuccarato, who's going to ride across here, nicely judged. And Zuccarato, as I said, after Hermann Pernsteiner, probably the best known rider in the breakaway, showing the bit of class has made him a feared competitor in international racing over the last few years. Finished third actually in the Italian National Road Race Championships in 2021. That is no mean feat, I can tell you. Sonny Colbrelli getting the particular day. Solo, remarkably enough, ahead of Fausto Masnada, with Samuele Zuccarato getting up for third. No big results for Zuccarato so far this year. They're coming out of the peloton. There's dangling and about to be overhauled. His best chance of staying out front, I suspect, is that this counter-attacking rider hoovers him up and takes him across. Fernsteiner has been reclaimed. That X-Speed rider who ventured fourth, made it over to the break, but then Chabok's attack, and it's all action stuff. It's great to see. There's another X-Speed rider. And that's what happens. You tow the brake back early, and then suddenly all hell breaks loose again. And those teams, specifically the sprint teams, and very specifically the Caja Rural squad of the overall race leader, Yuri Leitao. We've also seen of late some committed chase work on the front of the main peloton from the Burgos BH squad. They managed 11th place finish on the day yesterday. Local man Georgios Bouglos managing to not quite infiltrate the top 10, finished 11th on the day wearing the national champions colours of Greece, so all eyes on him this week. Best place finisher for the Burgos BH squad, but they'll hope for more today. So it's settled down a little bit in that peloton, but they're still kind of riding. Now I wonder whether we are going to be 4 once again. Chabok, very strong performance here, and they've managed to find a bit of a rhythm here, and the now shrinking in the distance again. If I were to calculate, I'd say it's something in the order of about 20 seconds between the front riders and those behind. I have a live ticker here which suggests it's 28 seconds. I'm not sure it's quite as much of that. At any rate, they need to keep pressing on. And there is the aforementioned Greek National Road Race champion, Georgios Bouglos, 11th yesterday, wearing dossard number 11. Entirely a coincidence. Zuccarello hits the front. O'Connor's now able to contribute. Did something just... Is he pushing the cable back in, or is he just trying to fire up the derailleur once more? Is that a wireless setup? I think it might have been a Shimano. Anyway, in which case he may well have been just trying to flick the cable back in, or maybe just make a little adjustment to the derailleur, but clearly a bit of a transmission issue there for Georgios Bouglos. It looks like they have eased up a little bit, so it's 2 against 2 now, and the peloton gave everyone a scare there. It's a great little pursuit, isn't it? Little team time trial, little Barachi trophy. Chabok and Zuccarello. Zuccarello looks pretty comfortable. And behind, they haven't quite got the identity of that rider that's coming across. Looks like the Ara Skip Capital squad. And he's got the former Breakaway, or at least the rider was up front for much of the day, Ronan O'Connor, for company. And I think they have a shot at it. I think if someone gives them the shout and says, you know what, the bunch have actually throttled back here, so if you want, you could just ease up, let those 2 in, because I think they'll certainly be grateful for extra legs. Still a long way to the line, 46 kilometres. And I think the sprinters teams as well will be relieved that they have a relatively manageable 2, potentially 4-man breakaway to control. These riders, of course, working to extend their advantage out to something that they believe is makes it possible for them to dream of winning today. At the moment, there isn't a hope. It's no, that can't be right. Oh yes, no, it wouldn't have made any sense at all. Indeed, it's Felix Ritzinger for the 2nd day in a row. I have to say, you've got to admire this. Ritzinger is probably secure in the knowledge that he's going backwards after on day 3, so he's going to try and find a different way to win. Yesterday he went in the early break. Now he's gone in the later It's still quite early break of the day. Looking as if the effort is starting to take its toll. Zuccarello does a good poker face, doesn't he? It's not going the right direction for them, but they're still committed. Now in Ritzinger, it's probably one of the best riders. They could possibly have come out of the peloton to assist Ronan O'Connor in his hopes of at least making it back to the front of the race, because Ritzinger finished 4th in the time trial yesterday morning. Then went in the... spent half the day out at front. Well, he's recovered well. Zuccarello not about to let those riders in. I mean, I kind of think that it may be that there's just a dearth of information at the moment. They're not able to get the information that they need. But if they looked around, they could see those riders are all on. You see, the energy expenditure here for Ritzinger is such that it's something that will be unsustainable for no more than a few kilometers. So they're burning bigger matches than they need to be burning with still 45 to go. And O'Connor is absolutely flat out here just to ride up and around Ritzinger. So he'll give the German rider a turn. But the power here surely is with number 144. Hermann Pernsteiner, formerly in the break, and now it's his teammate Felix Ritzinger of Team Felbermar, the Austrian squad. Well, now they see them, I'd say. And control now regained by the team of the overall race leader, Yuri Leitao, sitting in 4th position there with the blue jersey. His teammates from Cajarural on the front en masse. Gap quickly out to north of a minute. Well, they're continuing to put time into the main peloton. But still, frustratingly, haven't earned a free ride into the break here. They're going to have to work for it extremely hard. Felix Ritzinger. Austrian, right? Did I say he was German? I think I might have done. Apologies for that. Still Chabot and Vess, and Ritzinger's close, isn't he? And now I think Zuccarello's spotted this one, and now I think they'll just throttle back and let them in. Zuccarello's seen the value of this one. 42 kilometres remaining, still a long way out. They need all the legs they can get. And the bunch entirely content. Jefferson Chepeda, former National Road Race champion of Ecuador, among their number. We'll look with interest. Connor's just trying to finish it all off and make sure he gets back on. I think Ritzinger will be comfortable and content. Zuccarello isn't exactly making it easy for them, but catch is inevitable. That's made it entertaining, hasn't it? But I think they're using energy they don't really, a little bit of extra energy, because they've had to catch the riders up front who themselves are gaining on the peloton. And you understand the cat and mouse game. They will be given, I would imagine, no more than 2 minutes, if they even make it to that. Ahead of the final 15-20 kilometers, and hope they've got a decent advantage and something that they can battle to maintain and manage. Yuri Leitao, what a great day he had yesterday. First and second place finishes, led out the sprint. Still not quite all. Ritzinger's just going to finish it off. And they'll probably spend about 5 minutes trying to recover after this one, so chapeau to those two riders. Ritzinger with relatively fresh legs out of the peloton, a fine time trialist, and towing a man who has accumulated much greater degree of fatigue today, and O'Connor relief. I don't think we'll see him go up the line for a minute or two. Straight to the back pocket. Time to get the gels in. And you can just see the nature of his physique, the power, the strength. Yesterday was when the road rose and the gradient went against him. Didn't really suit him. His teammate Bernsteiner just looking around himself in about 20th position there, just been crowded around by those red-clad Maszowski riders from Poland. Bernsteiner's a useful climber, former World Tour rider, and tomorrow's 12 and a bit kilometre summit finish, you would imagine, might have been one that he would be interested in, but maybe the form isn't great. Going in the break today, I think, suggesting that he has the ambition and the courage to have a go at it, but maybe not the total confidence in his ability to be a factor on the final mountain tomorrow. So therefore thought he might have a better shot at glory by going in the early move. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Maybe he thought he could just pinch a few bonus seconds here and there, and then the heel of the hunt, it all would be of value. Fast moving peloton. Now, north of 1 minute and 10 seconds clear. After that little bit of excitement, sounds like they're sending cars ahead again once more to support the riders in the breakaway. Wide open roads of Greece today. Great cut for the riders to enjoy this 20th edition of the International Tour of Hellas, the third since it returned to the calendar. Newly reconstituted and reimagined as a 5-day stage race. We're in the region of Thessaly today. Heading towards Karditsa, which is the capital of the regional unity of the same name. The western end of the Thessalian plain. It's just next to the point where the tributaries of the Pineus River, the Kaletsas and the Karambalas meet. Well, there's a rider that I wasn't told sure we were going to see on his bike today. Great to see it. Great recovery after a horrific crash yesterday. Bogdan Zamlensky is the rider from Cyprus who was involved in that pretty horrific looking accident in the final 100 metres yesterday. Got back on his bike. He's bandaged up. His left hand is swathed in bandages, but that white jersey's looking a bit less than a little grayer today as a result of all the rain that these riders have endured. That will have had an impact on the fatigue levels as well. Those muscles can lock up and not respond, and for all the fact that the weather conditions have improved today, and that will be very welcome indeed, it may already have had an impact. There you go, there's riders, there's teams sending cars ahead. Is that to support the break? Could conceivably be cars heading off to the finish line. Must be a St. Piran car, was it? Stall in the bunch. Make a little adjustment, and that's a perfect example actually of what it's like in a peloton, where constantly there are little adjustments, little potential touch of wheels here, or somebody just makes a bit of a movement. Or if one rider breaks, there's a sort of a knock-on, a cumulative effect. One breaks a little bit, another one breaks just a tiny bit more behind him, a tiny bit more than that for the rider behind, and then suddenly a very worrying and frightening moment for riders some distance behind the initial tiny minor issue. It tends to have a ripple effect through the peloton. Again, one rider just moving ever so slightly to his left will cause another rider to move a little bit further to the left, and so on, and can cause an enormous whiplash in the peloton. Riders down the back making big exaggerated adjustments. Of course, being down the back, the advantage you get is you get a greater aerodynamic wake, so that draft effect is once upon a time were called fag paper clearances between the riders in the breakaway. Hit the flat road. 4 riders working in unison. O'Connor's just going to take another moment. And Burgos BH happy enough to control here today. Now O'Connor was just heading back to the team car there. And then O'Connor with the Global 6 United team, as I say. The Dutch registered squad. Among their name, Giacomo Bellabio might be someone to... I was actually Luxembourg registered, apologies. So I did look at the flag and thought that's Dutch registered, but Luxembourg are registered. We've had a few teams registered with Luxembourg over the years. Best placed rider in yesterday's stage, James Jobber, in 17th place. British rider. Very late about picture of focus and concentration. The pace is pretty hectic now. The speed is up. Just what level is the intensity like? Nice investment of effort here from Areola Bengo. Yulen Areola Bengo, to give his full moniker, 23-year-old. And we found a bit of descent. Tarteletta Wiserek's squad moving up on the left-hand side. There's a team with considerable interest in today's stage. They took the victory here a couple of years ago. Last time that this particular finish location, or this town that we're heading to, was used. '22. Teugels winning a dramatic final sprint, which I think many will remember. We'll talk about that in a moment. Opportunity for a little bit of hoodwinking. Wow. Sakurada. No, I thought that was something different again. We've seen that in the past where riders will go one side or another side of some road furniture looking for a little advantage. Absolutely charging down this hill. Ritzinger riding a big gear, towing them along. The advantage going in the right direction for these riders. Ronan O'Connor taking the road less travelled. Could be a concerning moment for him. Finds himself having to make a bit of an effort here. And it's the wind is blowing here, so this could be a difficult moment for an Irish rider, having worked so hard to make it back into the break. These riders aren't hanging around, and I think he's going to find it difficult, actually, unless something remarkable happens in the next few minutes to make it back to the front of the race. That could really, just by making the wrong decision and going across to the other side of the road, finds himself in a really difficult situation. Now, if the riders are doing that up front, what's going to happen behind? It's a big push on. You can tell the Cahir Rural riders have sensed that this is a section of road where they want to make sure that they maintain a position at the front and make it as difficult as possible for other riders. Yuri Leitao will have no problem with this kind of terrain, this kind of racing action. On the road to Karditsa, a few banana skins remaining. A lot of riders will have thought, well, we got over the climb, so it's just a flat road from there to the finish line. Should be no problem. But as we've seen over the last couple of years, the racing can be really interesting. And that's, yeah, just to return to that finish in Karditsa a couple of years ago with Leonard Teugels of the Tartaletto Isarek squad winning a pretty dramatic final sprint. So many riders falling just meters from the finish line. Indeed, one of the Greek national team members, Ilias, got up for a fine podium finish, so he'll be one to watch today. Pericles Ilias, 23-year-old, fast finisher. Oh, all sorts of issues with the breakaway. Ritzinger was just taking off his jacket and found that Chabok and Sakurada were not minded to hang around for him. And I wonder where O'Connor is. I suspect he could be cooked. You know, he already, I think, was quite tired after a long day of the breakaway. No panic in the break. In the bunch is Dylan Humber-Kelly, and rider with the XP United Continental squad. Red Walters, their top finisher yesterday, 15th across the line. Grenada, national road race champion. We'll look to improve on that today. But yeah, I mean, the characteristic of this particular bike race over the last couple of years has been all-out action, constant entertainment, nothing predictable. And that's absolutely wonderful for that fact. Peloton snaking its way towards a conclusion. No finishing circuit on this particular route. It's very much place to place, this race. We do have circuits on day 5, Sunday. Thrash around Athens to the Acropolis. The mountainous terrain gives way to the flat open plains. hanging out of the biggest gear on the bike. You feel like this is pretty swift progress in the final 31 kilometers. They go by in a flash. It seemed like forever though for Ritzinger. Up approaching 2 minutes. This is the biggest lead that anyone's had all day. A big press on now from the two Spanish squads, Caja Rural and Burgos BH, both of whom have very strong individual talent. Of the Caja Rural squad, watch with interest to see how Jefferson Chepeda is climbing. And for the Burgos BH squad, I mean, both teams have respectively first and second from last year's race. Yuri Leitao, this man, winning the race last year. Stage honours, continued where he left off. A beautiful victory in the prologue yesterday, and followed that up with the second place in the sprint. So he's definitely going to be one of the riders to watch in the finishing sprint today. But will he have the climbing legs to prevail and stay in the jersey tomorrow? Or will it be one of his teammates? And similarly, the Burgos BH squad have the winner in 22 and last year's runner-up, Aaron Gate, the New Zealander, who was runner-up in the time trial yesterday. But will they focus their attention on another? You would imagine someone like Victor Langelotti will be an interesting prospect. Who's it for the sprint today? Will it be for Georgie Buglas again? It's George Jackson's climbing legs. And who can stop Jakub Mareczko? Down to the final 30 kilometers, 170, just short of 170 kilometers in prospect for the riders when they began today in cold wind and rainy conditions. Not what they came to Greece for, as the riders made their way out of Katerini. As Ronan O'Connor back in the main peloton. That wasn't long about happening, was it? Ron O'Connor just jettisoned from the breakaway, not the first that happened to today. Just looking for teammates to slot in front of, see if he's got a bit of energy to contribute. Make it as comfortable and as easy a run to the line for James Jobber. Or perhaps Giacomo Balabia. We'll see who they set up for the Global 6 United squad.
And they seem like that.
Heading towards the towns of Palamos and Marcos. And then heading down towards Karditsa. We'll finish in front of Karditsa Municipal Stadium. And just under 30 kilometers from now. Strong performance from those riders, and now we've got a little bit of a standoff. This is an interesting development. The Burgos BH squad have said, you know what, we've been chasing a lot today, we've done a lot, and Caja Rural as well, and there's just a little bit of a after you, Claude, arrangement here, as teams are just trying to call the bluff of the other squads and say, who's willing to invest here? The advantage of your breakaway riders could increase rapidly now. In the next few moments, there'll be all sorts of conversations in the cavalcade behind, and conversations too in the main peloton. It might not need much in the way of actually saying words out loud, but teams will suddenly sense that the pace has gone down. These riders piling it on get the nod here from the team, and I think they're probably just getting the word that you know what, they've throttled back in the peloton, so gun it, get what you can out of this. Yes, received and understood. That may indeed have been just about the terrain coming up, but if there's intel coming from the main peloton about how the riders behind have eased up, and that won't be for long. Meanwhile, other race vehicles just heading up to the finish line. Working the cavalcade. Supportive riders complete to this point. Well, now we've got Team Novo Nordisk have cracked, or at least have accepted that it is up to some other teams to contribute. And they put two riders on the front. Yuri Leitao with a little look around. I have to say, I wonder if anyone else is coming. Plenty of chats. Burgos BH riders chatting to riders from Team Novo Nordisk. And that would have stemmed the tide a little bit. Still showing at 2 minutes and 1. I'll be interested if we get an update in the next few minutes. Feel sure that they must have gained a few seconds. Konrad Chabuk. The youngest man on the move, 23 years of age. Yeah, 12th in the Polish Under-23 National Road Race Championships last year. Is nothing to get too excited about. But this is first year at this level, so maybe the first time that he's had the opportunity, the time to dedicate himself to full-time bike riding. Some riders, and I've no intelligence that tells me that this is actually the case, but some riders will elect to complete an education and then focus their attention on full-time bike riding. Others will go full-time on the bike in their middle teens. Riders get there at different rates. Get there when you can. 25 to go. There you go, a little chunk of change was accumulated in that brief standoff, as the advantage shows now at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Not quite a winning one. They'll probably need all of that with 15k to go, possibly even a little bit further in. Soccarato. Nice, steady, fluid style. Major standout victories in his career. Did win the Doro GP Festa del Pardona in an under-23 one-day race in Italy, is 2018. But as a fully fledged professional, yet to break his duck. Third on the stage of the Baby Giro in 2020. Third on the stage of the Jura Cycliste in Italy the previous years. Last couple of years, breakthrough success. No top 10 finishes so far this year. For Zaccharato, victory today would be career change. He got a fourth on a stage of the Czech Tour last year. top 10 finish on the stage of Giro di Sicilia in Italy, which would have been against pretty difficult and pretty challenging opposition, so good solid pro. Ritzinger's energy is a considerable boon to the break, isn't it? Now, they were in the break for quite a while today, but the Vinnie Monzon squad no longer represented up front. Filippo Tagliani back in the fold, and therefore ergo they've got the Vinnie Monzon, Savine Due. Squad Lorenzo Cataldo, 5th across the line yesterday, so the Vinnie Monzon squad have considerable reason to want to tow this one back. Difficulty for Aparicio. Will he go for a bike change? Front wheel changes altogether quicker than a rear wheel one. He's feeling the back wheel as well, as if maybe he picked up a double puncture, but no, they're going to go for a wheel change. Far enough from the line at 23 kilometers to go. Manual through axle makes things, I suppose, easy if you're out on the road on your own, but drill attachments tend to be a bit quicker. Job done, and he's on a familiar vehicle. Mario Apari, 4-year-old, will be required in the third of. Will it be Georgie Buglas? Will it be Arrington? Jackson as well. 3 riders from the Novo Nordisk squad. Eighth place finish yesterday for Maciej Kopecki, the Czech rider. Finished 14th in the time trial and then went on to finish 8th in the sprint to the line. So decent opportunity for the riders to race with diabetes. Straight roads make things complicated for the breakaway. Very difficult to get out of sight, out of mind. Riders from 3 different tributing here. And pretty much fresh legs as well. That Burgos BH rider may have been on the front earlier on, but the others, relatively recent first appearance on the front. Second day of the international for 2024. If you're just joining us, we're coming down towards the final 20 kilometers. This is the current composition of the early break of the day. It's like Trigger's broom or the hammer my grandfather owned, isn't it? It's various different iterations. The 3 riders that are still up front. Well, Chabok, actually, he's been an ever-present in the break. Zuccarato there for most of the day. Ritzinger late to the party. All the other riders who made it clear have been dragged back into the fold. It's been a real yo-yo. The advantage of the breakaway up to 2 minutes, then back to just a handful of seconds, then back out to a minute or so, by which time they'd accumulated 1 or 2 other riders. And back as there's a little bit of crosswind action. And then Ritzinger bringing his big time trial engine into play. jogs across to the break. Took Ronan O'Connor with him for a while. O'Connor has been shelled under the relentless pressure. This young Austrian is really piling it on. And he likes nothing better than to get into that tuck. That almost unique, in the bike race at any rate, front end treatment, the one-piece cockpit he has. Is it one piece? It might actually be stem and bars. At any rate, it's very much bespoke. He counted in brake levers, offering him something a little bit closer to the UCI band. What do they call it? Puppy paws or whatever, you know, where riders drape their across the central part of the handlebars. Gets you a little bit closer to it, so tweaking the regulations to best advantage. And after his puncture woes, quickly back up and in. So good job done by Aparicio. Mario Aparicio is back up and available for the Burgos BH lead-out train. Inside 20 to go. That's a show of power and grace and strength. Look at that. Speeds approaching 60 kilometers an hour. And Borco Poli lending his considerable weight and strength. He's not that big, is he? Nathan Smith is. That's Poli, second in line, waiting to come up and contribute. Gap's 1 minute 53 seconds. If it's still that with 10k to go, they have a shot. This can they maintain? It's still advantage bunch. You know, you just know that there are enough resources in there. If the information is consistent, and it's always been the case, and that's got a couple of years ago. I remember a stage of the race, wasn't it? Narrow Gate. There were riders in the bunch behind that you simply did not know there was a move clear of the field, still clear of the field. Things have changed a bit in the last couple of years, though. This race is growing like Topsy, and the extra investment and the extra, you can clearly see a lot of ambition then to a new level. Catalin Buta from the Vinny Monzon Savine Due squad on the front at the moment. Gap up minering 1 minute 49 seconds. Well, there you go, you've got it as well, and it is going in the wrong direction, but is it coming down quick enough? He's aware of Ritzinger's. He certainly is. He certainly is pushing. Well, they're trying to keep each other motivated. I think Ritzinger's certainly investing. Chabot could be out of breakfast here a little bit. Certainly as much as he can contribute, he will. But it's a long, long day out, and after a while, the legs just don't want to do it, and have to mentally push yourself. Heels off. Requires courage as well as strength to want to do that yourself again and again and again. It's almost Sisyphean in the craziness of the effort, and yet there's something absolutely beautiful. Now the heavy hitters starting to make their appearance. 16k to go. First time we've seen them since we went live with our pictures from this second day of action from the International Tour of Hellas, because it's the team of the yesterday's Stage 1B winner, Jakub Mareczko, that have gone to the front. Korotek, Vinny Fantini investing 2 riders in the chase here, and that's going to be a considerable fill-up and bad news really for the breakaway. There are teams and riders available. Cyprus and Greece will watch with fascination and interest. They don't have the big names in terms of sprint talent, but they do have some fast. Arvanito is, you would expect, the man for the Greek national team, although, as I mentioned a couple of years ago, Pericles Ilias got up for 3rd place. Chabot gets a little bit of extra encouragement. Ritzinger and Zuccarello continue their communication. Sprinters to conjure with. Well, the Team Novo Nordisk squad have an opportunity today. They have Matthias Kopecki. He could only do well, he could only do as well as 15th yesterday, but he's capable of some big results. Sorry, pardon me, 8th yesterday. He's 14th in the time trial, then 8th in the sprint in the afternoon. So Kopecki certainly is a very strong contender for honours today. Jakub Mareczko, of course, will be everybody's favourite. Broke his duck about 11 days ago now with his first season in a one-day race in Italy, and well, they come like 46 A-buses, don't they? Mareczko getting up for a second victory in 10 days yesterday. Leotau from the Caja Rural squad. Buglas will watch to see how he gets on, or maybe Jackson, or maybe even Aaron Gate for the Burgos squad, who've done an awful lot of chasing today. Kopecki from the Team Novo Nordisk squad. Luca Colnaghi, will it be he to sprint for the VF Group Bardiani CSF Faisane? Well, they'll be hoping that their man Samuele Zuccarello hangs on clear in the breakaway, but they'll get themselves organised just in case. And indeed, their best finish yesterday was Mattia Penazzi. So the VF Group Bardiani CSF have a couple of options for the sprint and a third option from the breakaway. Back up to 155. Starting to think they might have been potentially right into race leadership. Is it too early to talk about their chances of hanging on? But he's not here for any other reason. It's a brave effort to leave the sanctuary of the peloton. Ritzinger just 13 seconds down on general classification, and of course 10, 6 and 4 bonus seconds on offer at the finish line. The Vinny Monzon squad on the front. Okay, 155 and suddenly 120. Still, it won't be easy. This is Angulo, I believe, for the Burgos BH squad. I think I may have done Chabot a disservice. He's barely missed a beat. I just sensed for a moment that he's starting to wilt a little. Not sure who is the strongest of the three. Or to bet, I'd say it's Ritzinger, based on his time trial performance and the fact that he hasn't been up front for as much of the day. Both Chabot and Zuccarello must be starting to feel it. Confidence booster that win was yesterday for the Korotek team. Corotec Vini Fantini, Jakob Marechko getting the win. They've got Valerio Conti to orchestrate matters and maybe do a bit of climbing tomorrow. Alessandro Monaco, Attilio Viviani and Antoine Debon also available to organise for the big bunch kick. Roberto Gonzalez as well on the Corotec Vini Fantini lineup. Sensational conclusion to this particular stage a couple of years ago. Pretty much a long straight run in, no deviations left, right or otherwise from about 4 kilometres out, according to my road book. May even be further than that. Maybe just a long straight blast into town. First across the finish line, so no opportunity for the riders to see it. And that'll give these riders a little bit of encouragement. Still well north and well clear of the breakaway of the main peloton, and 10 kilometres remaining. This kind of pace, maybe 11 minutes of racing. Kilometres remaining on day 2 of the International Tour of Hellas for 2024, heading down towards Karditsa. We're in Thessaly, and it's a region that was ravaged by floods a couple of years ago. Not without irony, really. There'll be so much rain at the beginning of the day, but a delight really that the rains have abated and no sign of the floods that had such a devastating effect on this region. And it's of course something that we're remembering today, the urban and rural renewal that has taken place here over the last couple of years. Well, they call it a medium difficulty stage, where a breakaway was certainly expected to appear at the sprint groups. Always interested in controlling the race. Down to 9 kilometres, 1 minute and 26. I'm starting to think they have a shot at it here. They need, well, probably 20 seconds going into the final kilometre. So they've got about a minute for 8k of racing. So the gain would have to be about 7 seconds a kilometre. That's a big gain required. If they get down to 20 seconds with a kilometre to go, the bunch will close most of that in that final finish, especially as it's a long straight drag strip and it's absolutely flat as a pancake. And it'll be all hands to the pump here, and a lot of teams are going to have to think about investing lead-out riders into the chase. So a lot of teams needed to come to the front here. Chabok has to close a little bit of a gap through that right-hander. But still working well, still working in unison. Similarly, just 2 riders from the Corotec squad. Valkenburg have put a rider into the chase. Still Team Novo Nordisk available. One of those squads are going to invest here. Potentially there could be a trade of the overall race lead. Remember, Ritzinger is so handily placed that he'll make the overall race leader, Yuri Leitao, a little bit nervous. Yeah, but the only sort of codicil there is that Leitao is probably focusing mainly on stage wins. I sort of think that his GC ambitions might be somewhat limited. So therefore, ergo, he might not necessarily be that concerned about losing the jersey. Nice to have it, certainly wouldn't give it away. But they'll play a different game, try and organise for others to do the chasing. The gap showing now 1 minute and 31 seconds. Increasingly, it looks like these guys really have a shot. And Chabok hasn't missed a beat. Neither too Ritzinger. It's been a big bonus, big boon. Another team now hits the front. Looks like Simpiran with a rain jacket just on the front. Simpiran recognising the urgency of the situation. Still showing a 1:31. Is that the situation? If it is, these are worrying and anxious moments, and other teams starting to appear now. 6 kilometres remaining, everyone getting organised for their lead out, but are they going to be sprinting for first or fourth? It looks like the latter. If that time gap is as solid and reliable, and we can absolutely believe it, then it's going to be really tough for them to close it down. And what's been particularly impressive is how little time they've lost between 20 and 10 kilometres remaining. See riders swinging around at the back. It's absolutely flat chat in that breakaway. So 1:06 now with 6 kilometres remaining. It's not entirely done, but those Global 6 riders are looking in danger of being jettisoned at the back of a bunch. And, well, there's no time for chatting. They need to ride through. On my screen suggests that the gap is down to 1:27. You feel that there has to be more of a gain than we've been seeing, but then these 3 riders up front, really powerful. No sign of any diminishment of their strength. You know, they don't seem to be. Well, the 2 just recovering. Zuccarello and Chabok go a bit straight-armed, but in essence, all 3 riders still look really strong when they're riding on the front. None less than Ritzinger. Opportunity for a major international stage race victory today for any one of 3 riders, and for all 3 this would be absolutely huge. None of the 3, indeed, to the best of my knowledge, have managed to score a major international success. So this would be a huge moment, and potentially for Ritzinger a move into the overall race lead. That might just change how he rides it. Opportunity perhaps for 1 or 2 of the other ones to maybe ride a cannier game. They continue to ride, I think, all the way down to the last kilometre or so. Oh, and well, they're not happy. A lack of coordination and cooperation, and a little bit of frustration being demonstrated. And they'll charge along at the front, but as we get an update showing inside a minute now, so I'm just not sure about these time gaps and exactly what the gap is. If we can believe it, they've really got a shot. And that's not necessarily a way to garner cooperation. That was a move on the front to do a long, sustained pull to try and close down the advantage. All it's managed to do is detach him from the rest. 58 seconds. Got a shot at this, boys. No time for chatting. Out of the closing moments, and well, can they hold them off? 3 kilometres remaining, 48 seconds. Going to be nip and tuck here. The amount they'll be gaining here as Aaron Gate hits the front, and he's got a hell of an engine here. The New Zealand National Road Race champion. I misidentified him a little while ago. What a huge engine he has, and what a huge potential it is for these 3 riders up front to hold them off. Down to a handful of seconds, I think they're going to do it. Is it too early to speak? They need to ride this one all the way into the final kilometre. There can be no shenanigans here. The most committed and biggest opportunity, 10, 6 and 4 bonus seconds on the line. Ritzinger has an opportunity to go into the overall race lead. They need to maintain something of their lead. This is going to be a late one, but it's still on, and Marechko and friends jockeying for position close to the head of the field. Yuri Lieto is in there as well, and teams crowding around. The Hiran squad starting to put their riders, numerous in number, onto the front. And now here come the Valkenburg squad, wide open boulevards in the approach to the finishing town of Karditsa. Gap showing as having increased. I can't believe that's the case. Inside the final kilometre. And still the catch not made. Still the 3 up front. Still Chabok on the front with Zoccarato and Ritzinger. Will they come around Chabok? Well, they have to ride it all the way to the line here, because Aaron Gate, pursued superstar that he is, has got a lot of watts to bring to the party. A little bit of time for finesse as they get closer to the finish. Zoccarato finds himself on the front. Ritzinger trying to play a handy game. Will he go for a long one with his time trial engine? Chabok has picked up on Ritzinger. Zoccarato gets to lead it out. They're going to contest for... It's Zoccarato goes for glory, 200 metres from the line. Ritzinger, so powerful, so strong. And the time trial, has he enough in the sprint as well? Zoccarato, it's a blanket finish. Who's going to get this? Here looks good for the win. I think he's just about going to hold off. And Ritzinger gets the victory with at the 10 bonus seconds. And he's also going to go into the overall race lead. The sprinting for 4th on the day. And ultimately the breakaway hanging on. Bardiani missing out on the win. It's going to be 2nd and 4th. Well, they're not quite. Here comes Leitao with a run for the line, but he's not going to get there either. It's all irrelevant really, because the wind was up the road. The Peloton miscalculating, and the strength and ability of the breakaway, always great to see, and that's why the breakaway always forms, and you will always see riders trying their luck and trying to get into the breakaway, because sometimes it really does happen for them. Heartwarming stuff, sensational conclusion, really entertaining stuff, and I really enjoyed that one. And once again, the Tour of Hellas serves up a helping of unpredictable, fascinating and entertaining fare. Well, just in front of the Municipal Stadium here in Karditsa for the conclusion of another sensational edition of the Tour of Hellas, Day 2. A new winner, and we wait for full confirmation of the finishing order and indeed the situation on general classification, but I think your winner today is going to take over the overall race lead. Dangerous moment for Ritzinger. Felix Ritzinger, the young Austrian rider, starting the sprint in 2nd place. Zoccarato found himself in the unloved position on the front. Chabok at the back, looking to profit from the others, and well, it was something of a blanket for a while. Sheer strength, 200 metres at the end of such a strong, committed and long effort out front. Chabok never really at the party, and when you get the overhead, you get a real sense of just how much stronger he was in the sprint. And what does that mean to him? Absolutely huge victory at international level, bringing with it the ultimate prize. Sprint behind for the minor positions. We wait for full confirmation of the finishing order, but Morechko bested on this occasion, as indeed was Yuri Leotau. ATT Investments rider getting up for that one. I think that might have been Bartosz Rudik, but we'll wait for full confirmation of that. No doubt about the rider got the win. Oh, what does that mean to that team? The energy that will be injected into that squad by a sensational moment. And he was so strong in the break yesterday. I was kind of surprised to see him go in the early break, but why not? You know, it's great to see the energy and enthusiasm and the tactical almost abandon of these riders. And it pays dividends. It's the confidence and the ambition that is displayed is always fascinating. Hermann Pernsteiner did his bit today, wasn't he? He was in the early break, there for a long time. Number 43, nearest the camera.
Και εδώ έχει γίνει μια μεγάλη ανατροπή, καθότι ο Φέλιξ θα πάρει από τον προκάτοχο Γιούρι Λεϊτάο την σπουδαία Σιάνδουζα ΔΕΗ, Διεθνής Ποδηλατικός της Ελλάδας 2024, καθότι περνάει πρώτος στην Βρετανική γοητεία, τον ΚΑΠ, αυτή είναι η γοητεία του Ζυγίου Ελλάδας, έχει κάθε...
Well, there's going to be a long debrief after that one, and it's a proud moment for the Team Felbermeyer squad as they take breakthrough success, huge win. Felix Ritzinger, your winner on the day, 27 years of age, from the National of Vienna. And that's why we do it. It takes, it's not actually win. He did win a stage of the Tour of Giant back in 2019, a 2.2 lower race than this. And in our fashion, well, ended up the road on his own on that occasion. But this is at a more exalted level. A little bit further into his career at this point, 27 years age, and such power and strength. 191 centimeters. He's 80 kilograms of muscle and sinew, and an irresistible force from a small group. Had the strength to get there. Without him, I don't think they would have got to the line at any rate. For confirmation, was that Newman or was it Bartosz Rudik getting the sprint for fourth on the day? The breakaway survives. And it's a famous success. And another great chapter of Tour of Hellas history, recent history of producing unpredictable stages. And that's why teams like Cumming, they come back. The last two winners of this event are back here to see can they repeat the alchemy. In the end, there was only going to be one winner. You just felt that a long run to the line actually might have paid dividends as well, because he's just so powerful, just so strong, and just that little bit fresher than the other two riders as well. Not sure those handlebars are made for sprinting, but of course they're kind of flared on the bottom, on the drops, aren't they? So quite a bit wider. Well, not necessarily quite as wide as the other two riders he was sprinting against. Didn't cause him any problems, though. Stayed out of the saddle for a long time. That's a sign of a rider who hasn't gained as much fatigue. He's got that core fitness, the power, and he's got the win. Two-time second-place finisher in the Austrian National Time Trial Championships. also finished 3rd and 4th in that particular event. This confirmation, Felix Ritzinger gets up to get the glory on day 2 ahead of Samuele Zoccarato and the 3rd member of the break, Konrad Chabok. It was Bartosz Rudek that did get up for 4th ahead of Attilio Viviani, Goddard, Leitao, I should say, Kubi, Arvanitu and Agnoletto. So a lot of familiar names from yesterday in the finishing order, the top 10. But a new name at the front. Interesting that Marechko didn't go sprinting, so it was the white helmeted, not terribly tall rider sprinting for the Corotec Vini Fantini squad, Attilio Viviani on this occasion. So I'm not sure whether there was a problem for Jakub Marechko, whether he got delayed or detached somehow in the sprint. At any rate, it didn't matter. To sprinters, nothing less than the victory will do. To breakaway riders, all three deserve great credit here. So the riders will make preparation. Yesterday, but hopefully we will have a chance to catch up with your winning rider on the day. I don't know how many times the composition of that breakaway changed. It was chaotic. It was all action. It was wonderful. At one stage, the entire breakaway was back to just a handful of seconds, certainly less than 10 seconds in front of the main peloton. One or two riders clipped across. One or two riders shelled. And off they went again. And then a little bit of crosswind action courtesy of the Valkenburg squad from the Netherlands. Didn't take much time about it, but they really quickly closed down the advantage of the breakaway to less than 30 seconds. And that was the perfect opportunity for Felix Ritzinger to take his cue and replace his teammate Hermann Pernsteiner, who dropped back after his earlier breakaway efforts. A change in the head of the King of the Mountains classification as well, with, by my calculations, Tagliani, who was in the break early on. Filippo Tagliani has done enough, I believe, to move into the lead of the King of the Mountains classification. Again, all to be confirmed. And we see the riders pop out onto stage. Ritzinger is your stage winner on day 2 of the Tour of Hellas. String of seconds, thirds and fourths. And just that single win in the Tour of Zekerland a few years ago now, 5 years ago, is confirmation of the provisional classification at the conclusion of the day. 25 seconds in arrears. So Ritzinger was 13 seconds back. He gained 10 as a result of the bonus seconds. So just needed to gain 3 seconds on the peloton. He gained 25. So it'll be something in the order of a 22-second lead on general classification, presumably over erstwhile leader Yuri Leitao. But again, that is to be recorded. Hopefully we can catch up with Felix Ritzinger. I believe he's down there somewhere. And yeah, we've caught up with someone at any rate. So very shortly we'll hear from our stage winner, I do believe.
So Felix, congratulations for this stage win. You dominated the breakaway for the biggest part of the stage. What's your impression about this? And in the first stage you were only in the breakaway also. You seem to be very strengthened and very strong.
Well, yeah, I came here in preparation for Olympic Games and tried some different setup and it seems to work, to be honest. Actually, already we've been dropped on the first climb today and then saw the opportunity and went for the break again, and this time, yeah, well, it worked out.
So the schedule of the team went as scheduled from the beginning?
Oh, well, I mean, we're here for the GC. I'm not the GC man, but yeah, we wanted to stay in a good position for the Queen stage tomorrow, and well, this worked. Now I'm in the GC lead. I don't know if this is a good thing for me tomorrow, but yeah, I'll try to do my best and yeah, honor the jersey.
Tomorrow we have the hardest part of the stage, climbing a big mountain, and very critical for the race. Do you believe how difficult it is for you to maintain the jersey?
Well, very difficult, to be honest. I'm not a climber. I'll do my best. We'll see. We have strong guys here. We have a good team, and yeah, we want to be in front in the end of the race in the GC, and hopefully tomorrow will be the biggest step in that direction.
Have you ever competed in Greece again?
To be honest, just once, and this was racing mountain bikes 6 years ago, maybe. So yeah, first time on the road.
Okay.
Thank you.
How do you like that? The organization, the race.
Yeah, great. It's super safe. There are lots of spectators on the road, and yeah, no difficulties. You can focus on racing, and that's a great thing.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good.
Some gracious words from your stage winner, Felix Ritzinger. And the new overall race leaders, he says himself, he's not sure it's a good thing. It's not something that he will be defending. It's a big, long winch up to a summit finish tomorrow. It's way outside his comfort zone. Fascinating to hear him say that he had actually tried to get into the breaker. He was shelled on the long climb. Today's stage, of course, began with a 20-kilometer climb, long grind, and a long push to get into the break from that, and other riders jettisoned behind. Eventually he got back on when it all calmed down a bit after that first climb, and was able to get up front, spotted an opportunity. So well done, chapeau. And there you have it. It is a 22-second margin of advantage for Felix Ritzinger in the overall general classification, ahead of Yuri Leitao and Aaron Gay. Totruba and Chabok, the other rider from the breakaway, benefiting up into fifth now. Bogdan Zablinski, the Cypriot rider, at 39 seconds. Baker, Kubis, George Jackson, and Joseph Durnbauer. So two riders from your breakaway in the top five. And Ritzinger, your stage winner. Now the overall race leader approaching this all-important Queen stage tomorrow. Your King of the Mountains winner, Tagliani, I believe. King of the Mountains jersey holder. Now. Go Filippo. Bagged the important points that will move him into the lead of the King of the Mountains classification.
Filippo, complimenti per la vittoria. This climb mountain già vinto. Come si sente?
Sì, sono molto felice, sono riuscito a rientrare sulla fuga. Ho attaccato più o meno a metà salita, sono rientrato a 8-9 km dalla vetta e sono riuscito a vincere il Gran Premio della Montagna.
Credi che poter guardare la maglia rossa?
Mi piacerebbe domani provare a difenderla, so che sarà dura perché domani è più una tappa da scalatori, però sicuramente ci proveremo.
Una tappa troppo dura, domani la più critica del giro.
Sì, sicuramente domani è la tappa più dura, deciderà la classifica generale. Io spero di fare comunque una bella gara e poi punteremo a sabato e domenica a riuscire a far bene.
È la prima volta che competizione in Grecia?
No, sono venuto anche 2 anni fa, sempre al Giro di Grecia, prima del Giro d'Italia l'avevo fatto di rifinitura, adesso sono tornato dopo 2 anni e è sempre bello venire qui in Grecia.
Come viene l'organizzazione qui?
È un'ottima organizzazione, sono molto contento di essere qua e come squadra la stiamo onorando al meglio.
Bene, complimenti, grazie.
Grazie a voi.
Grazie and congratulations to Filippo Tagliani, who's moved into the lead of the King of the Mountains classification. Big haul of points on offer tomorrow, of course, in the all-important GC day. Going to be one for the mountain goats. We're going to head from today's finishing town of Karditsa and head towards Velucci. Third stage. Queen stage, 159.71 kilometers in prospect and fully 4,500 meters of elevation. It's a bit of a beast. It starts in the Karditsa, passed by Trastira Lake, then putting the Thessaly region behind and moving towards the center of Greece, into Evrytania. And then from Karpenisi, they tackle a very challenging mountain that concludes at the finish line. 12 and a bit kilometers, average gradient of 8.52%. It's going to be an absolute beast. Maximum of 15% on that climb as well. Well, that one's going to hurt. Unless you're a climber. General classification. Felix Ritzinger, he's going to get his day in the sun. Day in the jersey ahead of the erstwhile race leader, Yuri Leitao, Aaron Gate, Otruba Chabuk, Sabalinski, Ron Baker, Kubis, George Jackson, Joseph Turnbar. There you have the top 10 covered by 45 seconds, and I'm not sure any of those riders will still be in the top 10 at the conclusion of tomorrow. Could be doing them a disservice. Did Chabuk a disservice. It looked like he was struggling a little bit, but actually he was teak tough, strong and available through to the conclusion. But Singer played a blinding role there, didn't he, in the breakaway, and a fresh injection of pace. It was a huge benefit to them. And also had some notes as well for us about his participation in the upcoming and the forthcoming Olympic Games. Went close to Mount Olympus today, didn't we? And Greeks always have an interest in what's happening in the Olympic Games, as do the Austrian track team, the Team Pursuit squad heading to Paris in July. And possibly Ritzinger will also be involved in either Madison or Omni. I'm not sure how the Austrians are carving it up, but he's big old engine for the flat road, as he pointed out himself. Not great when the road starts to rise, but he is a bit of a unit. But fabulous road racer all round. And now your overall leader to collect a blue jersey very shortly. Well, it looks for all the world as if the folk group may well have completed their act. So in that case, I wonder, will we be able to get the podium done soon? Made a wonderful piece of post-stage entertainment yesterday, albeit it kind of prevented us from seeing the jersey. It was fun to watch it anyway. Oh, I'm not sure where oh, there's the podium off to our left. Yeah, so it looks sort of kind of ignored a bit at the moment, doesn't it? There's so much action going on in amongst the various different strands of entertainment, different folk groups. Three days left. Tomorrow's the big one. And we have stage 4, which is the longest stage of the week, 196.53 kilometers. The 0.53 is going to be critical, and I think they added the 0.53 at the end of the day, not at the start. It'll be pretty painful. And choppy enough route with plenty of climbing along the way. Final climb coming as well. It's a category 3 assault, not particularly steep, but it comes in the final. Be able to get you some reaction from the finish line and some detailed understanding of the nature of the day. So very shortly we will have the riders presented to you on that podium there, and hopefully we can hear from one or two riders as well. Well, they fired up the digital screen, so that's an encouraging sign. Uh-oh, turned it off again. Very responsible attitude to energy conservation there. And Karditsa didn't look like this yesterday. It won't look like it tomorrow. Circus has come to see it briefly. He was offside of the big screen.
σκέφτηκε να στείλει μήνυμα. Ίσως τώρα να μην μου λένε αυτοί.
It sounds like we could have an interview for you very shortly. I know we've got a couple more lined up at some stage. Hopefully we've caught up with one or two of the riders.
Yeah. Best rider after the second stage of this Tour of Greece, and after the injury you had falling down in yesterday's stage. How do you feel about that, and what's your impression about today's race?
Yeah, it was quite rainy today. It's all wet. I think yesterday's crash quite affected me quite a lot because everything, all my equipment broke, so I had to get the spare ones, and also all the road rash I had today. After the rain, it got a bit icky, or itchy, you could say. It hurt it a bit, but it wasn't that big of a deal, and I managed to maintain the jersey. Didn't go back in the first climb, so quite happy about it.
That's good for you after this injury. Tomorrow we're entering the hardest part of the tour, climbing, and how difficult will it be for you to get over that and maintain the jersey?
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult, I would say. Something that I probably never did before, that much climbing in a single race, but yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I think I'm gonna think positively. Hopefully my team's gonna support me tomorrow as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was Bogdan Zablinski. That built him pretty tough in his family, don't they? He's the son of Olga Zablinskaya, the famous. She's I think Kazakh national these days, and Bogdan, her son, is a Cypriot national, and of course his grandfather Oleg Sukhrachenkov won the 1980 Olympic Games road race. He's representing the USSR back then, so multinational family, and really talented and really tough as well, because he was involved in that horrific accident within the final 100 meters yesterday, and as you can see, he's pretty bruised, battered, bandaged up, and the rain didn't do him a lot of good, did it? It wasn't so nice to that road rash that he'd accumulated yesterday. Riding on the spare bike and still very much in the race, and Yuri Leitao at least has a jersey to hold by right. He is still the leader of the points classification, so he's got that jersey to wear tomorrow. Felix Ritzinger up to second in that classification. Rudik has been sprinting well over the first 2 days, a couple of top 10 finishes for him. And the King of the Mountains classification, more riders added to the total from the breakaways over the last couple of days, and Filippo Tagliani taking top points at the second climb of the day. Sorry, the first climb, and second at the second climb of the day between the jigs and the reels. 13 points gained, and just pips Anton Schiefer. So blue jersey for Filippo Tagliani to collect. We heard from him a little earlier on. I believe we have got at least one other rider, so could conceivably be the leader of the points classification, Yuri Leitao. I hope so. Be interesting to get his take on what he expects for his team in tomorrow's Queen stage. What hopes he has for himself between now and the end of the week. Let's remind ourselves of some of the significant moments from another tough day out on the roads of Greece. Multiple composition of that early break, some intermediate sprint points taken by Ronan O'Connor, but it was his erstwhile breakaway companions, Chabo and Zoccarato, that survived clear of the field, actually joined by Felix Rittinger and briefly by Ronan O'Connor. Three riders from that breakaway arriving to contest, and Felix Rittinger into the overall race lead.
About the interview, because I'd love very to go to the States. We're waiting late now.
Τα κορίτσια που θα μας βοηθήσουν στις απονομές.
It sounds like we're just about ready to get going with the podium presentation. We could have one or two interviews here, one or two speeches to be made. Hopefully we see some bike riders very shortly. Today we've got some jerseys to present.
Ο Δήμος Καρδίτσας με το Δήμαρχο επικεφαλή. Ήταν σημαντική η υποστήριξή τους εδώ στην Καρδίτσα. Ευχαριστούμε και τον Αντιδήμαρχο Αθλητισμού που επίσης έκανε εξαιρετική δουλειά. Η συνεργασία είναι το παν και αυτό μπορείτε να το ζήσετε και να το δείτε και στο κομμάτι του ποδηλατικού αγώνα, όπου συνεργάζονται κατά κάποιον τρόπο οι ποδηλάτες κάνοντας μια κυκλική, κάποιοι μπαίνουν μπροστά, μπαίνουν επόμενοι μπροστά για να μπορούν να κερδίζουν ενέργεια σε αυτά τα πολλά χιλιόμετρα. Ο Παναγιώτης Ευθυμίου, Αντιδήμαρχος Αθλητισμού, έδωσε και εκείνος το δικό του κομμάτι της υποστήριξης και της βοήθειας και τον ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Ο δήμαρχος του Δήμου Κατερίνης, Βασίλη Τσιάκος, συγγνώμη, Καρδίτσης. Ο Βασίλης ο Τσιάκος, ο δήμαρχος εδώ στην όμορφη Καρδίτσα. Δήμαρχε, ωραία εικόνα, κόσμος. Ήταν εντυπωσιακός και ο τερματισμός. Είναι δεύτερη φορά και η προηγούμενη θητεία σου ήσουν επίσης εδώ οικοδεσπότης στο ΔΕΗ Διεθνή Ποδηλατικό Γύρο Ελλάδας.
Η Καρδίτσα, το Άμστερνταμ της Ελλάδας. Η πόλη του ποδηλάτου. 25.000 ποδήλατα μόνο η πόλη. Ποδηλατική κουλτούρα που έχει η Καρδίτσα δεν υπάρχει πουθενά. Την ενισχύουμε σήμερα. Είναι τιμή μας που μέσω του αγώνα του Peloton η εικόνα από την όμορφη Καρδίτσα θα πάει σε όλη την Ελλάδα. Σας ευχαριστούμε και θα είμαστε παρόντες σε τέτοιες σημαντικές διοργανώσεις οι οποίες αυξάνουν, θα έλεγα, την εξωστρέφεια που χρειάζεται η περιοχή μας, η Καρδίτσα. Να είστε καλά.
Ευχαριστούμε τον Δήμαρχο Καρδίτσας. Βλέπω απέναντί μου και τον κύριο Μαμάκο, τον Δήμαρχο Λάρισσας. Πέρασε και υποστήριξε και ο Δήμος Λάρισσας τη σημερινή μέρα και το τμήμα αθλητισμού που είναι πολύ δραστήριοι και δραστήριο το τμήμα αλλά και όλοι οι άνθρωποι του. Ο Δήμαρχος Λάρισσας μέχρι πρόσφατα που ανέλαβε δήμαρχος ασχολούταν και ίδιος ενεργά με τον αθλητισμό. Είναι και σε καλή φυσική κατάσταση και το αγαπάει όλο αυτό το κομμάτι.
Πράγματι, η Λάρισα είναι μια πόλη με μεγάλη αθλητική παράδοση. Ήταν πολύ σημαντικό που για ακόμα μια φορά, συμμετέχοντας στο Διεθνή Ποδηλατικό Γύρο ΔΕΗ 2024, η πόλη της Λάρισσας έγινε γνωστή. Τα στελέχη του Δήμου Λαρισαίων έχουν αποκτήσει την τεχνογνωσία να κάνουν μεγάλες διοργανώσεις. Ήδη από τους πρώτους μήνες που έχουμε αναλάβει, πολύ μεγάλα αθλητικά γεγονότα έλαβαν χώρα στην πόλη μας. Και είμαστε και εμείς πόλη του ποδηλάτου. Δεν ξέρω ακριβώς πόσες χιλιάδες ποδήλατα έχουμε, αλλά είναι γεγονός ότι και η πόλη της Λάρισσας και λόγω φυσιογνωμίας εξυπηρετεί το ποδήλατο. Γίνονται πολλά έργα, πολλές αναπλάσεις που έχουν στόχο γι' αυτό. Και επίσης θέλω να δεσμευτώ ότι και εμείς ως Νέα Δημοτική Αρχή θα είμαστε κοντά στα μεγάλα αθλητικά γεγονότα για να μεταφέρουμε και εμείς την εικόνα της πόλης μας, όχι μόνο στην Ελλάδα, αλλά διεθνώς. Και είναι πολύ σημαντικό ότι οι ομοσπονδίες, οι αθλητικές οργανώσεις, οι φορείς επιλέγουν τη Λάρισα για τα μεγάλα αθλητικά γεγονότα.
Σωστά, τίποτα δεν είναι τυχαίο. Ευχαριστούμε τον Δήμαρχο Λάρισσας, επίσης κοντά στην μεγάλη αυτή διοργάνωση. Είναι σημαντικό και το θυμίζουμε συνέχεια. Χωρίς τη συνεργασία, χωρίς τη σύνδεση θεσμών, φορέων, οργανισμών, όλης της ποδηλατικής κοινότητας, της Ομοσπονδίας Ποδηλασίας και πάνω απ' όλα όλων όσων αγαπούν την ποδηλασία και ως μέσο αστικής μετακίνησης δεν θα μπορούσε να γίνει πραγματικότητα μια τέτοιας κλίμακας μεγάλη διεθνή παγκόσμια διοργάνωση. Είμαστε έτοιμοι για να ξεκινήσουμε τις απονομές. Τα κορίτσια είναι έτοιμα να μας βοηθήσουν εδώ από την Καραγκούνα, από το Σύλλογο. Ο Ερυθρός Σταυρός για 3 χρόνια, τρίτη διοργάνωση, είναι κοντά στην διοργάνωση και τους ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ η προσπάθεια που κάνει αυτή η μεγάλη κοινότητα του Ερυθρού Σταυρού σε κάθε πόλη, σε κάθε γωνιά της Ελλάδας. Έχουμε μαζί μας τα αγόρια και τα κορίτσια με τις κόκκινες φόρμες και υποστηρίζουν την συνολική προσπάθεια που γίνεται για την επίτευξη του στόχου που είναι και η ασφάλεια όλων όσων είναι μέσα στον αγωνιστικό κομμάτι, αλλά και το πιο σημαντικό, η πολύ καλή εικόνα μιας διοργάνωσης με τέτοια διεθνή εμβέλεια.
Λοιπόν, κι αν είμαστε έτοιμοι, καταρχήν να δούμε εδώ τον φωτεινό μας πίνακα που θα μας ανοίξει την όρεξη για αυτή την τελετή των απονομών του δεύτερου ετάπ. Το ΔΕΗ, Διεθνής Ποδηλατικός Γύρος Ελλάδας 2024. Εδώ, σε απευθεία σύνδεση από το Άμστερνταμ της Ελλάδας. όλους όσοι μας υποστηρίζουν, τη ΔΕΗ, την Apticon, την ΕΡΤ και την Avance που δίνουν τις φανέλες, τις πολυπόθητες φανέλες που κερδίζουν κάθε φορά στο τέλος κάθε ετάπα οι μεγάλοι νικητές. Τα κορίτσια μας, ευχαριστούμε. Εδώ με τα έπαθλα. Κι αν είμαστε έτοιμοι, να μπούμε λίγο στο κλίμα. Πάμε λοιπόν. Δεύτερο ετάπα σήμερα, δεύτερο στάδιο λοιπόν αυτής της μεγάλης αναμέτρητης του τεράστιου ποδηλατικού γύρου Ελλάδας, που φέτος έχει γίνει πραγματικά εντυπωσιακός. Φτάνει σε όλες τις άκρες της γης. 174 κανάλια τη μεταδίδουν στις 5 υπήρους. 120 σπουδαίοι αθλητές από 20 χώρες από όλο τον κόσμο και είμαστε έτοιμοι να κάνουμε την απονομή στον μεγάλο νικητή του δεύτερου ετάπ. Να φωνάξουμε λοιπόν το μεγάλο νικητή, τον Felix Ritzinger από την ομάδα της Αυστρίας Feldfeldenbayer, και να παρακαλέσουμε τον Αντιπεριφερειάρχη Αθλητισμού, τον κύριο Σωτήρη Σολούκο, να έρθει κοντά.
Yes, Felix back on stage and a proud moment for the
4 περιφέρειες, 22 δήμοι.
First among the survivors from the early break, all the way to the line today.
Είναι τεράστια προσπάθεια. Κύριε Σουλούκο, σας ευχαριστούμε τόσο πολύ.
And a proud moment for the 27-year-old Viennese.
Καλησπέρα και από
His first visit as a road racing cyclist.
εκ μέρους του Περιφερειάρχη που
Producing a victory. Oh, we have another speech.
Και για ζητήματα που αφορούν την περιφέρεια και το γνωρίζει πολύ καλά η Καρδίτσα, βρίσκεται στην Αθήνα. Είμαστε εδώ να χαιρετήσουμε την όμορφη εκδήλωση, την οποία από την πρώτη στιγμή αγκαλιάσαμε και είπαμε ότι η τελική κατάταξη και ο τερματισμός στη Θεσσαλία θα είναι στην Καρδίτσα. Και νομίζω ότι σωστά πράξαμε και με τη συμμετοχή του κόσμου, αλλά και γενικότερα με το μήνυμα που θέλουμε να περάσουμε, ότι αυτή η περιοχή πρέπει να προσεχθεί πολύ περισσότερο από όλους και να φτάσει το μήνυμα σε όλο τον κόσμο. Να είμαστε καλά, να περνάμε λοιπόν καλά και να κάνουμε ποδήλατο περισσότερο. Να είστε καλά.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Τα κορίτσια μας. Felix, congratulations for your performance today. So the rain didn't stop you, it couldn't stop you.
Well, looks like it doesn't.
Okay. Οπότε η βροχή δεν τον σταμάτησε τον Φέλιξ και δεν τον εμπόδισε να είναι ο μεγάλος νικητής αυτού του δεύτερου ετάπ. Felix Ritzinger. Και τα αναμνηστικά δώρα, τα οποία λαμβάνουν οι αθλητές σε κάθε απονομή μετά από το τέλος κάθε ετάπ.
Ναι, είναι και δώρα από το Δήμο Καρδίτσας. Είναι γνωστά τα εινοπία, είναι εινοπαραγωγική περιοχή, ο νομός Καρδίτσας και η ευρύτερη περιοχή.
So this, he wants to have a hug. Και θα του δώσουμε και τα καλούδια, που μάλλον θα τα γευτεί μετά το τέλος της περιπέτειάς του. Δεν πιστεύω να ανοίξουν κρασί να πιούν οι μεγάλοι αυτοί οι αθλητές. Ακολουθούν πάρα πολύ πειθαρχημένο πρόγραμμα και διατροφής και προπόνησεως. Τα καλούδια μας λοιπόν. Και μία συμβολική σαμπάνια για το καλό, για τον Felix Ritzinger. Τον μεγάλο νικητή της Feldfeldenbayer, της ομάδας που μας έρχεται από την Αυστρία. Για να δούμε.
So plenty of bubbly, some lovely trophies, and the knowledge that he has scored a major international road racing success.
Symbolically, he will not drink it, I'm sure.
He might have a little bit.
Βραχή καταρκετά σήμερα. Όχι, όχι είπατε. Για να δούμε λοιπόν. They didn't get enough wet today. So get them all wet with champagne.
Only gave him a small bottle. There won't be much left in the bottle to drink at the end of it anyway.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ.
Felix Ritzinger, superb win. And we'll see him again in this podium presentation.
Felix, and good luck for the rest of the race. Lots of kilometers coming ahead and lots of elevation too. Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Να παρακαλέσω τον Αντιδήμαρχο Ελασσόνας, τον κύριο Αστήριο Δημουλά, να έρθει κοντά μας για να κάνουμε μαζί την επόμενη απονομή και τον πρόεδρο της ΕΟΠ, τον κύριο Βασίλη Διαμαντόπουλο. Κύριε Βασίλη, είστε εδώ. Ο πρόεδρος λοιπόν της Ελληνικής Ομοσπονδίας Ποδηλασίας. Θα κάνουμε μαζί την απονομή στον νεότερο αθλητή.
Καλησπέρα σας. Ως εκπρόσωπος του Δήμου Ελασσόνας, σας μεταφέρω τα χαιρετίσματα του Δημάρχου μας, του κυρίου Νικολάου Γάτσα. Θέλω να συγχαρώ τα θερμά μου συγχαρητήρια στο Υπουργείο Αθλητισμού, στον Υπουργό Αθλητισμού, τον κύριο Γιάννη Βρούτσι, τον Περιφερειάρχη Θεσσαλίας, τον Αντιπεριφερειάρχη κύριο Παναγιώτη Σουλούκο, τον Δήμαρχο Καρδίτσας, τον Αντιδήμαρχο και όλους τους αντιδημάρχους Καρδίτσας για τη φιλοξενία, τους συμμετέχοντες αθλητές, θερμά συγχαρητήρια σε όλους τους συντελεστές του αγώνα. Ευχαριστούμε για τη φιλοξενία. Ελπίζω η σημερινή μέρα να είναι γιορτή για την Καρδίτσα όπως ήταν και για την Ελασσόνα, γιορτή για την Ελλάδα, γιορτή για τους νέους μας, οι οποίοι εμπνέονται από τέτοια αθλητικά γεγονότα και τέτοιους μεγάλους αθλητές. Σας ευχαριστώ.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Πραγματικά σας βλέπω και συγκινημένο και πολύ χαιρόμαστε. Πραγματικά και εμείς είμαστε πολύ συγκινημένοι που είμαστε στο Άμστερνταμ της Ελλάδας. Κύριε Διαμαντόπουλε.
Τι να πω εγώ. Εγώ είμαι με τις διοργάνωσης. Λοιπόν, τέλος πάντων, να ευχαριστήσουμε καταρχήν τον Υπουργό που έδωσε ακόμα 3 χρόνια διοργάνωσης του γύρου ΔΕΗ, γύρου Ελλάδος, την Οργανωτική Επιτροπή, την Tour of Cycling Greece, όλο το Διοικητικό Συμβούλιο, με προεξέχοντα τον Γιώργο Τολεβεντάκη, τους χορηγούς βασικά, έτσι, που δεν γίνεται τίποτα, τους περιφέρειες, τους δήμους και όλους όσους συμβάλλουν για να γίνει και να ολοκληρωθεί στο τέλος χωρίς ατυχήματα. Αυτό είναι το μέλημα, φαντάζομαι, όλων των διοργανωτών. Αυτός ο γύρος για να μπορέσει του χρόνου και τον επόμενο χρόνο να συνεχιστεί. Εμείς στις δυνάμεις που μπορούμε, με τις δυνάμεις που μπορούμε, βοηθάμε και θα βοηθήσουμε. Να ευχηθώ στους αθλητές ο καλύτερος να κερδίσει και αύριο είναι ο δύσκολος αγώνας που θα γίνει μάχη. Συγγνώμη για τη μάχη σε εισαγωγικά, θα γίνει μάχη. Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Ευχαριστούμε τον Βασίλη Διαμαντόπουλο, πρόεδρο της Ελληνικής Ομοσπονδίας Ποδηλασίας. Να πούμε ότι το έπαθλο που κέρδισε ο πρώτος νικητής είναι πιστό αντίγραφο από το Μουσείο Κυκλαδικής Τέχνης και είναι εντυπωσιακό και όλοι όσοι το πάρουν αυτές τις αγωνιστικές μέρες θα το χαρούν όταν επιστρέψουν στα σπίτια τους.
Λοιπόν, είμαστε έτοιμοι λοιπόν να δώσουμε την φανέλα τη λευκή, the white jersey, η οποία δίνεται κάθε φορά σε κάθε ετάπ στο νεότερο αθλητή, το οποίο σημαίνει κάτω των 23 ετών, ο οποίος κάνει τον καλύτερο χρόνο. Να φωνάξουμε λοιπόν τον Bogdan Zabelinski. Bogdan Zabelinski from the national team of Cyprus is the winner of the white jersey. Ο Bogdan, να πούμε ότι ήταν και από το πρώτο ετάπ.
Fair few bandages underneath that skin jersey, aren't there, for Bogdan Zabelinski? Wonderful resilience for the young man. 19 years of age, one of the Siddal Quick Step development squad, so really much expected of this young man.
Was it operating well?
Yeah, it was quite well. I didn't even notice that it's even hurting.
You didn't notice it?
No, no. Had other things to bother me.
Did you enjoy today?
Yes, yes, yes. Except the rain.
Well, the rain, you know, stays mainly in the plane. So, λοιπόν, ο Bogdan, λοιπόν, ο καταπληκτικός αυτός 19χρονος αθλητής, ο οποίος κρατάει τα σκήτρα της λευκής μπλούζας και σε αυτό το ετάπ. Πάμε λοιπόν να κάνουμε την απονομή, να του δώσουμε τα δώρα του.
πρόεδρος της Ελληνικής Ομοσπονδίας Ποδηλασίας
Got a
θα
white jersey
δώσει
for his
την
trouble.
μπλούζα και θα τη φορέσει στον αθλητή.
Wonder what his climbing ability is like. Gonna find out tomorrow.
Έτσι είναι το τελετουργικό.
Και πάμε στα επόμενα.
The best under 23 rider in Tour of Hellas over the first 2 days, Bogdan Zabelinski.
Ο μικρότερος της παρέας, λοιπόν, μόλις 19 ετών, ο Bogdan, που αγωνίζεται με τα χρώματα της Κύπρου. Σας ευχαριστούμε όλους πολύ.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ.
Και πάμε στην επόμενη φανέλα. Είναι η φανέλα της ανηφόρας. Είναι η φανέλα των βουνών και λέγεται COM γιατί την κατακτάει ο King of Mountains. Να δούμε λοιπόν ποιος είναι ο King of Mountains και να παρακαλέσω την κυρία Μαρία Τσακατούρα, την εμπορική διευθύντρια της Avance, καθώς και τον κύριο Μαμάκο, τον Αθανάσιο Μαμάκο, τον δήμαρχο Λαρισαίων, για να κάνουμε μαζί αυτή την απονομή. Αφού ευχαριστήσουμε την Avance, ευχαριστώ εκ μέρους όλης της διοργάνωσης που μας πάτε με ασφάλεια και όμορφα στους προορισμούς μας.
Συγχαρητήρια για την διοργάνωση. Έχουμε άλλες 2 μέρες μπροστά μας. Ελπίζω να πάνε όλα καλά.
Όλα καλά θα πάνε. Δήμαρχε, περάσαμε και από τη Λάρισα και εκεί είδαμε πολλές παράπλευρες εκδηλώσεις που γινόντουσαν. Να πούμε και στον...
Τι να πούμε.
Λέω, περάσαμε από τη Λάρισα και παρακολουθήσαμε και τις παράπλευρες εκδηλώσεις που πραγματοποιούνται εκεί.
Ήταν πάρα πολύ όμορφα γιατί ειδικά μικρά παιδιά συμμετείχαν σε αυτές τις παράλληλες δράσεις. Ήταν τσοβαλοδρομίες, ήταν αγώνες μπάσκετ, ήταν τελκυστίνδες και ήταν κάτι μοναδικό το σπριτ που έγινε σε ένα ιδανικό σημείο στο Μεζούρλο, που οι αθλητές πραγματικά δώσαν τον καλύτερο τους σε αυτό. Ήταν μοναδικό το θέαμα να βλέπεις κάποιους να ξεχωρίζουν και στη συνέχεια τη μεγάλη ομάδα των ποδηλατών να περνάνε με μεγάλες ταχύτητες μπροστά. Ήταν κάτι εξαιρετικό. Σίγουρα ο τερματισμός έχει τη δικιά του γοητεία, αλλά και εκείνο το σπριτ στην ευθεία ήταν εξαιρετικό.
Έτσι. Είναι μαγικό το ποδήλατο. Να μοιηθείτε. Δεν το λέμε τυχαία. Πάμε λοιπόν να βραβεύσουμε τον βασιλιά των βουνών, ο οποίος δεν είναι άλλος από τον Φιλίππο Ταλιάνι από την Ρουμανία και την ομάδα Βίνι Μοντζόν. Ο Φιλίππο Ταλιάνι λοιπόν είναι ο σημερινός νικητής. Αυτό το δεύτερο ετάπ ήταν ο πιο γρήγορος στην ανηφόρα.
So, visit to the break for Filippo Tagliani, who
Πάμε λοιπόν να κάνουμε την απονομή.
took the lion's share of the King of the Mountains canting climbs today, 28-year-old from Gavardo. Had a couple of years with the Androni Giocattoli squad at Pro Tour level or Pro Team level. And these days is with the Vinny Monzin Savini Due OMZ squad. He's been there since the end of March, picked up a contract relatively late in the day. Rode with the club team last year, back in continental level racing and back in the break. I'm back on the podium.
Filippo Tagliani, King of Mountains for today, for the second stage. Le deuxième stage of Tour de Grèce. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για την απονομή και να έχουμε και την αναμνηστική φωτογραφία. Και πάμε να δούμε λοιπόν τον μεγάλο νικητή της γενικής
Lion's share of those, of course, at the summit finish. Going to be tough for him to hang on to that jersey through tomorrow, but maybe another visit to the break.
Του νονού μας σε αυτό το γύρο που μας έχει βαφτίσει το γύρο η ΔΕΗ. Η Σιόν φανέλα που λέμε είναι η φανέλα της γενικής κατάταξης των αθλητών. Αυτήν τη φανέλα την κρατάει σταθερά από την αρχή
Got the points and the general classifications jerseys to distribute now.
Θα φωνάξω την κυρία Λιμπεροπούλου, τη συνεπώνυμη κυρία Βασιλεία Λιμπεροπούλου, την υπεύθυνη διαχείριση εκδηλώσεων της ΔΕΗ. Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για όλα. Και να δούμε λοιπόν ποιος είναι αυτός που κρατάει γερά αυτή την μπλούζα, την οποία τη φοράει και τη φορούσε και σήμερα και θα τη βάλει και αύριο, στο τρίτο ετάπ. Είναι ο Γιούρι Λεϊτάο από την Caja Rural της Ισπανίας.
Your erstwhile overall race leader, Yuri Leitao, courtesy of first and second place finishes in yesterday's two half stages. Portuguese reigning champion of Caja Rural and
Yuri, how
Portugal
did it go?
and Spain.
Another time, another winner.
Well, it was a good day for the team. We worked a little as we could. We weren't that worried to keep the blue jersey because tomorrow is the big day. And yeah, it is good to see other teams shining. No, we don't want to win everything. No?
So, να πούμε εδώ για όσους δεν το γνωρίζετε ότι ο Γιούρι ήταν ο περσινός νικητής του 2023. Επιστρέφει στην Ελλάδα για να κρατήσει τον τίτλο του. Yuri, you come back to Greece to hold on to your title.
Sorry?
You come back to Greece to hold on to your title.
Well, I'm not properly a climb guy, no? So tomorrow I will struggle a lot. I will try to help the team because we have better guys for the final climb. So we will try to win the GC, but not with me.
Έτσι. Μας εξηγεί λοιπόν ο Γιούρι κάτι πολύ σημαντικό για την ποδηλασία και για το γύρο, ότι εδώ αγωνίζονται ομάδες και μπορεί να είναι πάρα πολύ καλό σπρίντερ ο Γιούρι, ωστόσο αύριο θα βοηθήσει κάποιους άλλους αθλητές που είναι καλύτεροι στην ανάβαση. Αύριο έχουμε μία πολύ μεγάλη ανάβαση, 4.000 of elevation, more than 4,000 of elevation tomorrow. Και ο Γιούρι απλά θα βοηθήσει τους καλούς ανηφορίστες της ομάδας του για να κερδίσουν. Αυτό είναι λοιπόν το team spirit που λέμε. Yuri, thank you so much. Congratulations and good luck for the rest. Yes? This beautiful lady, Miss Vasilia Limperopoulou, is going to award you.
Handy 8-point lead in the points classification. More opportunities for him, particularly on the last day in Athens. A little bit of unseating, I think, from this particular jersey, and great opportunity for more success for the flying Portuguese. Yuri Leitao has really charmed everyone over the last couple of years, enjoys his visits to this race, and he certainly enjoys a visit to the podium. Enjoys the sport.
Να μείνει η Βασιλεία Λιμπεροπούλου, παρακαλώ. Εδώ
So
να ανέβει και ο Δήμαρχος Καρδίτσας, ο Βασίλης Οτσιάκος, για την επόμενη απονομή. Είναι η γαλάζια φανέλα. Ο Δήμαρχος Καρδίτσας. Μεγάλη συμβολή και η συμμετοχή. Και ο αθλητής
Λοιπόν, πάμε να δούμε πάλι τον Φέλιξ Ρίτσιγκερ. Φέλιξ.
Well, he's been waiting patiently, your stage winner. First man up on stage to collect some baubles and trinkets and prizes. And he's back again to collect the all-important overall race leader's jersey. Wasn't expecting that today, was he?
Κυρία Λιμπεροπούλου. Η γαλάζια φανέλα της ΔΕΗ. Μπράβο. Ο Δήμαρχος θα κάνει τις...
Well, they only have it for a day, but it's the ultimate reward for more brave, ambitious, and wonderfully powerful and athletic performances from Felix Ritzinger.
Και έτσι αλλάζει χέρια η γαλάζια φανέλα στο δεύτερο ετάπ και πόσα έχουμε να δούμε μέχρι την λήξη αυτού του γύρου. Ελπίζουμε να έχουμε πολλές ανατροπές. Ήδη είχαμε πολύ μεγάλη αγωνία και στα δύο πρώτα ετάπ, όπου ο τερματισμός ήταν εντυπωσιακός, τόσο χθες όσο και σήμερα.
Well, that's it. That is your podium presentation. All the jerseys have been distributed. We can look forward now to the daunting, looming third stage mountain assault on our way from Karditsa to Veluke tomorrow. Almost 160 kilometers, 100 miles if you count in old money. We can look forward to a bit of a revolution on general classification. And more presentation of local dignitaries to the crowd, but fundamental business is complete. We look forward to tomorrow. Thanks very much for being with us here today. My name is Declan Quigley. We'll be back tomorrow for more, but for now, from all of us on the tour of Hellas, it's goodbye.
Να δημιουργήσει αυτό το θεσμό, το ΔΕΗ, Διεθνή Ποδηλατικό Γύρο Ελλάδος, η τρίτη διοργάνωση για ακόμα μία χρονιά εδώ στην περιφέρεια Θεσσαλίας.